Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial. Today I will show you how you can make a CSV file, a customized CSV file, which is more universal, so to say. It can be opened in more systems with greater ease as more programs can pretty much access it, open it, and read it. In any case, you will require a capture file. You should know how to make that by now. If you don't, feel free to go to some of the previous tutorials. No big deal. You can see it there. I have explained it in great detail. But for the time being, I'm just going to go ahead and use this rather large command that I have typed in a moment ago. I didn't want to type it in during the tutorial. It would take up some unnecessary time. Rather, instead, I have typed it up previously, and here I can break it down for you. So first off, we have tshark, so that's the command line interface. You have -r, which basically states that we shall read from this sample. I've named it sample capture, but that we shall read from this sample file. -t is the option for fields, so you can pass it. We can pass to the argument -t option fields. And after that, you can specify as much fields as you would like to be extracted from the file. So -e basically specifies the name of the field, and then the program knows, okay, you want that field? Very well, I shall extract it for you. So I have basically specified that I want my frames to be enumerated, so that I know which frames. When I take a look at a CSV file, I want to know which frame am I looking at. I don't want to count from the beginning. The next thing you have is, again, -e. You can pass as many as you like. So I want source IP address. The next one I want the destination IP address. And in addition to that, I would like to have a TCP destination port. Now, I have discussed in the previous tutorials that source ports are not that useful to us, primarily because they are randomly generated by our machines upon transmission, and they don't really give you that much information. In any case, that is primarily why I've chosen just to pick the destination port. TCP, no particular reason. This file that we're reading from has no other significance than for demonstration and training purposes. And in addition to these E's, I also have a capital E here, and a capital E specifies a header. So I could have, instead of Y here, let me just show it to you. Instead of Y, I could have also typed in N for no. So do not show headers, or Y, yes, show headers, which is very nice because you want to know, when you start reading things from the top, you want to know which column displays what sort of information. I mean, sure, you can infer by just looking at it, but it's much better when you have it written nice and neat, so you can read it without any problems. Next up, we have, again, capital E, and we have separators. Now, separators are field delimiters. Basically, it tells Excel-like program to, okay, when you reach this mark, that means you should separate it to another field. Whatever remains, separate it to another field. Go to the next comma, separate it to another field. We have a double quote here, so basically equals D is double as well. And we have an occurrence, -e occurrence. Basically, I wanted to start from the first packet. I could have said like start from the middle or something like that, but no, start from the first packet. And this greater than sign, that means output to this file here. So this command will generate something, and then it knows that it will output things into this file, primarily because of this greater than sign. And then on the right side of that greater than sign, you have sample. Well, I've named it sample cv.scv. Kind of a weird name for a file, but doesn't matter. It makes the point quite clear. Now, if you are uncertain in regard to these field names, and that can be a bit tricky because, I mean, there's very little chance to memorize all of them, and quite frankly, there isn't a need. I mean, you cannot see it in the help option, But what you can do is go ahead and open up your graphical user interface. I have it opened up here, and then wherever you click on these packets, pretty much anywhere on any of them, it will always list something. So here I have interface ID. Look at the lower left corner. It says frame dot interface underline ID. So if I just typed in that, so if I just type that in, -e space, type this in, it would extract this field, and so on and so forth. Here, let me just show you one for DNS, which is a bit clearer. And I'm not going to go to layer 1. Rather, instead, I'm going to go ahead and go to IP layer, internet, to the IP protocol. And if I just click on it, it says IP. Okay, but I don't want to be that general. I want to be more specific. Let's say if I click on protocol, it says IP.proto. Okay, so let's go on to source IP address, IP.src. And so you just keep on typing them. You type in as many fields as you like, customize your CSV file to your liking or to the requirements of your job or whatever, and you will save yourself a lot of trouble and you will save yourself a lot of time. These things are incredibly handy in CSV files. There is a reason why this option has been left, and there's a reason why people use it so much. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the terminal, press enter. There we go. It takes it a very short amount of time to generate the CSV file. Let's just go over to my browser, to my folder browser, and there we go. We have sample csv.csv, double click on it, and LibreOffice will open it no problems. Now, it doesn't matter if you don't have LibreOffice, like Excel will open it no problems either as well. And here you have an option, for example, it says separator options. So you can say fixed width, or you can say tab, semicolon, space, other, text delimiter, whatever. It gives you so many options. But since we know that we have actually chosen double quotation marks and that we have chosen comma, I'm just going to go ahead and say OK, as I don't really need anything else. And now here you have a small example of a capture file, of a filtered through capture file and conversion to a CSV file. There we go. It says you have port number, you have frame numbers here in colon A, you have IP source address in colon B, IP destination in colon C, and you have destination port in colon D. I would advise you to play around with these things. That is really the best way to learn. You have every possible prerequisite here, every possible basic knowledge that you would require to continue on your own. And quite frankly, there's not that much variety in terms of what you can do here. Basically, just keep adding fields, taking away fields, changing delimiters, separators, that is, and see what sort of an output will you get. Even though you have a lot of combinations, the logic of it doesn't really change. The logic pretty much stays the same. It's always the same. You just add more or less options, but they're pretty much the same. You add them in the same way, and you pretty much can just read from Wireshark Graphical User Interface what you need. You can read the field names, put them there, and perhaps memorize those which you find most useful to you. In any case, I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next one.